Hey guys, and welcome back to News to Astonishment, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And today we got some hot, big bombshells that just dropped from Charlie Cox returning to this as Daredevil to the set of Spider-Man 3, and Tobey Maguire being spotted for supposedly a costume fitting. All this is just crazy. This is insane. And I haven't been this excited. Now, normally I'm not like this boisterous in my videos, but man, this excitement has been boiling inside me since I've been at work today. And I've been doing nothing but working and reading these news back and forth, watching everybody cover these topics. And before I get into that, guys, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I noticed that 42% of you who are not subscribed watch my videos. So let's go ahead and do that by clicking that big red subscribe button. It really helps the channel a lot. And click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. I post videos on a daily and I do live streams about 4 to 5 times a week. And lastly, join my Discord where we discuss everything. You guys want to share news, topics, talk about comic books, and everything else there? Well, my Discord's the place to be. There's a bunch of people like yourselves who are into, like, you know, geek culture, gaming, and everything like that. And we have channels for those topics as well right here on the left-hand side. So if you want to go ahead and join my Discord, the link to that invitation is down in the description box below. And without further ado, let's go back to the topic at hand. Now, Charlie Cox is set to return as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. I just want to point out before I get started talking about these topics, all this needs to be taken with a big grain of salt, because while these are just people reporting these topics and that Charlie Cox is returning and Tobey Maguire was caught on set, you got to take it with a huge grain of salt. None of this was ever confirmed by Sony or Marvel or Disney. So far, none of this can really be validated. We just have to take the word for these reporters stating that, you know, Charlie Cox is returning, Tobey Maguire's still in talks to return for the Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield supposedly is set to return, and so is Kirsten Dunst, which I'll get into the details in a second. So let's go ahead and start with the big one that really dropped today, which was a major bombshell for us. So Charlie Cox will reprise as well as Daredevil Spider-Man 3 in 2021, according to the new report. Charlie Cox last appeared as a man without fear in the Netflix series Daredevil, which was canceled shortly after the third season debut in 2018. It has now been more than 2 years since the show was canceled, which means Marvel can now use the character. Now, if you all recall, they've been passing the hashtag Save Daredevil, which was really trending within the last few weeks since November, this past month, was the expiration. And then all the rights of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and the other Netflix characters have reverted back to Marvel Studios, and now Marvel Studios are free to use them however they want, whenever they want, and however they please. So at this point, it might be easier to report to which characters are not being rumored to make their way into the next Spider-Man movie than the ones who are. Following a flurry of reports yesterday suggesting that a number of heroes and villains from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy and the Amazing Spider-Man movies from Mark Webb will return in Marvel's 2021 Spider-Man sequel. A new report claims the Man Without Fear is also joining the fun. Now, according to Murphy's Multiverse, which has accurately leaked Marvel's secrets in the past, Charlie Cox has been cast in Spider-Man 3. If you don't recognize the name, Cox was the actor in the titular role of Netflix's Daredevil, and he is expected to once again don the mask in the Marvel Cinematic Universe starting next year. For the longest, I just want to state that Charlie Cox has denied any claims or reports stating that, you know, he will be returning as Daredevil even earlier this year, and which I'll show you this clip right here in a second. But he didn't know anything. Nobody had reached out to him, and I think for the most part he was really telling the truth. But how much of the truth was he really telling? Because one thing's for sure, Charlie Cox has always been wanting to return for the character, because it really did break his heart when the show was canceled. He really loved playing that character. He was aware of the fans' admiration for his portrayal of the character. And so far, this whole Spider-Man 3 movie is starting to sound like a gratuitous amounts of cameos. It's like Spider-Man and Friends up in here, if you know what I'm saying. So let's continue with the article. The report claims that Charlie Cox inked a deal, with Disney to reclaim the mantle of the beloved character months ago. But the fact that Marvel's arrangement with Netflix prevented Marvel from doing anything with the character until 2 years after the series was canceled may have prevented anyone involved from making any announcements. The good news is that the 2-year clause that prevented Daredevil from joining the MCU expired November 29th, 2020, which means that Marvel could start talking about its plans for Daredevil any day now. To that point, Disney Investor Day 2020 happens to be set for Thursday, December 10th, and multiple reports indicate that Marvel will take the opportunity to make announcements about upcoming projects. Could a Daredevil series be in the works for Disney Plus? Will Charlie Cox star in his own Daredevil solo movie? We don't have the answers to these questions, but we do have a short clip filmed in April for a quarantine watch party of Daredevil on Netflix, in which Cox casually puts on the iconic helmet and drinks some tea. So this is from a little earlier this year, back in April to be exact. So I'll play this clip for you right now. It's pretty funny. I like it. I thought it was pretty funny. I think he was trying to tell us something, or unless, you don't really have to look too deep into this clip, but he was probably just being silly. So here we are, just watching TV. He's just doing the quarantine Daredevil watch party, and he puts on his little Daredevil mask. I thought this was pretty funny. Many people were looking really deep into this. They thought that he was trying to tell us something, but it was really nothing. It was just him being silly, sipping tea with a Daredevil mask on. This is incredibly exciting news for fans of the series, and specifically Cox's amazing portrayal of the troubled hero. But Murphy's Multiverse notes that none of the other series regulars, Deborah Ann Woll, who plays Karen Page, Vincent D'Onofrio, Wilson Fisk, or Eldon Henson, Boggy Nelson, are along for the ride. Not yet anyway. It's tough to imagine anyone else as Kingpin in live action, although Liev Schreiber did an admirable job voicing the villain into the Spider-Verse. Providing the report is accurate, maybe they can join in for a future Daredevil project. And then moving on to the next topic at hand. I kind of want to throw all this together because I didn't want to really divide this into a couple of videos, but I kind of figured it'd be best to probably throw this topic in there as well. So the original live action Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, is reporting in talks to return for the MCU Spider-Man 3 along with Kirsten Dunst. Now, the original live action Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, is reporting in talks to return for the MCU's Spider-Man along with the Kirsten Dunst. Maguire starred in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy for 2002 to 2007 as Peter Parker, the titular hero who one day acquires spider-like powers after being bitten by a radioactive spider. Dunst portrayed Mary Jane Watson, his best friend and love interest. Maguire's performance was largely praised by fans, and though there were once plans for Spider-Man 4, they never came to pass. In the MCU, Tom Holland currently plays Peter Parker, and he's set to return for a third solo adventure in 2021. Plot details have been kept under wraps, but there have been rumors for some time that as the MCU digs into the multiverse, past Spider-Man characters could appear. This was seemingly reported by the news that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Electro's Jamie Foxx will be in Spider-Man 3. And today, news broke that Alfred Molina will reportedly play Dr. Octopus once more. Evidently, they might not be the only ones to make a comeback. So every character for the MCU Spider-Man 3 so far. Per Collider, Maguire reportedly will return for Spider-Man 3 provided Sony and Marvel can reach a deal with him. Talks with Maguire are presumably ongoing and remains to be seen when they might be completed. Meanwhile, the report indicates Dunst is already set to return as MJ in the film. This also comes along with the news that Andrew Garfield will reportedly return as well for the first time in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So Sony previously debunked the rumors that Maguire and Garfield would be back, but now it looks like the studio merely wished to keep them quiet until things were confirmed. While Maguire's return in Spider-Man 3 isn't quite a done deal, it's a good sign that talks are happening at all. If Garfield and Dunst both return, it would be strange not to have Maguire. Hopefully, he and the studios will be able to arrange something in order to make this work. It would be thrilling to see Maguire and Dunst back together on the big screen, and many would love to watch Holland's Spider-Man interact with Maguire's. So, all these returns confirm something fans have basically already known. Spider-Man 3 is taking on the multiverse. The MCU has shown signs of delving into the compelling world for some time now, with the most telling project being 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch, will also be a part of Spider-Man 3, and it looks like he'll be bringing in his multiverse chaos with him. At this rate, the MCU Spider-Man 3 is shaping up to be a packed film. Hopefully, he can handle the weight of all these characters. Odds are some will have smaller roles than others, and it'll be interesting to see how Maguire and Dunst factor into it at all. Marvel better reveal some story details soon. So, just a few things that I really want to note here, and just keep you aware. Marvel Spider-Man, just Spider-Man in general, that IP alone is more popular than any other superhero in the world. Probably second to Superman or Batman. But this is going to be a huge, ambitious Spider-Man movie. Perhaps the longest one. We're talking about the 3-hour mark. We're talking about probably Endgame length, if not maybe a bit longer. And I think this movie is going to do gangbusters. With all these reports indicating that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Kirsten Dunst, Alfred Molina, and other characters are going to be showing up, This is doing nothing but hyping up everybody. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if they managed to bring back Mr. Dickovich of all people. Man, everybody that you know, everybody from your mother, everybody in your mother is gonna be in this movie. Hell, your mom is gonna be in this movie, okay? I also saw these pictures of Tobey Maguire, what's supposedly a costume fitting for the new Spider-Man movie. Now, this can't be really validated for sure, but people are claiming it to be a costume fitting for the new Spider-Man movie. Until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But what do you think? Now, of course, there are a lot of people out there, including me. I do have some of my reservations in mind. Keep in mind, all this sounds to be too good to be true, but at the same time, it doesn't sound quite far-fetched after all. Like, not at least anymore. Maybe if you told me this about a few months back, I'd be like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but still at the same time, I mean, we do have a bunch of Avengers films. We do have a ton of superhero films where they do a bunch of crossovers, so it doesn't sound as crazy. Maybe like 5-10 years ago, I would be like, yeah, right, Tobey Maguire doesn't want to return as Spider-Man anymore. Neither do any of the other cast members that supported Spider-Man want to return anymore. But this is crazy, and I can only imagine the amount of money that this is going to bring into the box office, the amount of fans who are going to be pleased to see this kind of movie. I'm going to be pleased. I'm going to feel like a little child again. Oh my God, this is insane, you guys. I'm at a loss for words, okay? What I thought started out to be nothing but a bunch of like gratuitous cameos, I think it sounds possibly feasible that this can happen. It's not too far-fetched. And remember, these are all reports. Supposedly a couple of them have already been confirmed, but none of them can ever be like validated at this time because we haven't heard any word from Sony or Disney or Marvel. So yes, a lot of these reports are confirmed, but none of them have been officially validated, or at least no official announcements have been made by Sony and Disney and Marvel. So we'll have to see, but I hope that Sony gets to speak out very soon and confirm these rumors or reports very soon, because I'm freaking out right now and I'm about to lose it, okay? All right, so guys, thank you all so much for watching. You guys comment down below, what are your thoughts about these sets of news? Is it crazy? I mean, it's insane. Are you hyped? Spider-Man has taken over the internet and officially taken over the world by storm, because right now Spider-Man is ruling the internet. So everybody go crazy, tweet this out, share this video, put your hashtags out, hashtag Spider-Man, hashtag Daredevil, whatever. Do whatever you got to do to push this out, because everybody is on board the hype train. Let's go, guys. Let's go, everyone. Anyways, that's it for you tonight. Bit of a longer video than usual, but I just wanted to throw this out because everybody else was talking about it, so I kind of figured I'd throw in my 2 cents. So thanks again for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.